Hi guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Kitz channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author. We're also traversing the world's multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. But today I'm going to let one of my pen names / alters, Grace, come out, and she is going to talk about her work in progress, which is pretty much working under the pen name, working under the working title of JJ's Story. But yeah, so let's get into it. Hi everybody, my name is Grace Kitz. I am one of the alters here in this system, so some background information because Michelle tells me I need to say this. We are a system here at the Chaotic Kitz channel. There are about 20 of us, I would say. I'm not entirely sure. We've never done an actual person count. I was about to say word count. But we've never actually done a head count of how many people there are in our system, but we say 20 just because it feels like a good number. I don't know. But I am somebody who writes contemporary Christian fiction, coming of age storylines. And my current work in progress is called JJ's Story. That's like the rough, that's just who the character we're following is. But it also goes under the alias Home to Scripture, and it's the first book in my Moving to Scripture series. So it's all going to be super fun. So with the series, we are following a bunch of different juniors in high school, or at least this one specific class that are happening in junior year in this Catholic school. And so each book is going to be following a different character. But this first book we're following his name is JJ. His birth name is Julian John, but we just call him JJ. That's what everyone knows him as. But JJ's story is very unique, and all the stories within this Moving to Scripture series is going to be quite interesting because they're going to have a lot to deal with mental health, because these characters that I'm creating are real life characters. Well, not real life as in they're physical people, but you could easily find someone like JJ, like Gracie, like Katharina, you could easily find people like this in the real world if you look for them. And, so it's just, this series means a lot to us, especially considering, JJ, the character that we are following currently, he has multiple personalities, which is something very similar to us. Actually, I would say it's a lot like us, and, his whole experience right now, between, the host, the original part, whatever you want to call him, but, the part who only knew the body as himself and never knew he was a multiple, got forced back into the back of the head because of an evil I say evil, it's not really an evil prosecutor, but got sent back because of a prosecutor in the system who was pretty much done and over with how things were used to be ran, and so he's taking control. And this is very similar to us because I would say in 5th grade, I feel like that was the first time whenever we felt the shift in our system. It might have been 6th grade. I don't know. It was pretty young though. But we remember being in class and we were crying, and then some part of us was well, I know which part, but we're not going to say his name. But there was a part of us who was basically shut down all systems, all background talk that we ever had, and shut it down to a point where it was just him in the front seat. And as years went on, he slowly let other people come in. But yeah, it was just, that time was crazy. And this is kind of similar to things that JJ's going through right now. And it's just so, I love how we're coming to this story. We just got done writing chapter 14. We're currently sitting at 40,000 words in the story. This is act 2 of the story. And to say that things have evolved is understatement, because we don't know what kind of story we're telling. But whenever we reach, so in JJ's story, from chapter 13 onwards, we're having 2 different parts of the story going on. So there's part 1, or the beginning part of the chapter, which is what's going on in the physical world. So what's going on outside the body. And then the squiggly lines mean what's going on inside the body. But I think chapter 15 is going to change that, because we're gonna be in the little part who is communicating with JJ. But like, I don't know how to say this, but like this little part, she is a 5-year-old part in this system for JJ, and her background story feels so real. Like, it feels like, I don't know how else to describe it. It feels like a real person, because like each altar that we write about is a real person. Well, a fictional real person. But like, like they could be real, like people in systems, But I really love this series. And like this, and obviously this is like a Christian fiction story, and it has some to deal with the Catholic faith. And JJ's story doesn't have as much Catholic faith as the rest of the books in the series will, but JJ's story has just subtle hints, like he was originally baptized. One of his parts, his mom used to sing during storms, the Rain Down the Rain Down song. So like rain down, rain down, rain down your love on your people kind of thing. And that song really stayed with that part. And that part ended up doing a lot of support and help throughout the system. And like, it is a child part, so it makes like, it has this like fun edge to it. Not edge, but funness to it. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving the series. I'm thinking about possibly, like me personally as Grace, I am thinking about starting my own YouTube channel, because Shelly's got her own YouTube channel, and then we have the Chaotic Kitz channel, but like I want to have one for myself. And so if I did that, it would be a channel strictly for me to talk about my books. And with my books, I am eventually wanting to get traditionally published with them, or at least get like an indie press for a publishing house, a Catholic publishing house to pick them up. Because not only am I having like the JJ story, which is the Moving to Scripture series, which I think is like 18 books long. I don't know, maximum 18 books long. I don't know. But I also do picture books for different saints in this Catholic faith. So we currently have one for Carlo Acutis done. We're working on one for Saint Francis of Assisi. And I think the next one we're working on is Saint Maria Greti. And like, I just want to do all these different saints, and I want all these books to be traditionally published. And it will end up helping us as a system, because then it will tie into hopefully getting finances to help Shelley publish her books, and eventually get us to the point where we feel confident enough to write Maris's books. Sorry, that was Michelle coming out. But yeah, I absolutely love what I do. My series is going to hit people hard, just because it is a more sensitive topic, especially having to deal with mental health. There is one book in the series that I know is going to have more of like a suicidal, depression, self-harm kind of talk to it. Which, I know isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but like, these are, in my mind, real life juniors in high school. Like, or at least there are different variants of me in high school. At least the first two are. Because, like, this feels like a real life person, like someone who's really dealt with dark things or has dark moments. And it's just, like, trying to take a different light. Like, spinning it to a different light, if that makes sense. Instead of always thinking of the negative and stuff. But yeah, I have so many hopes and dreams for the series. And yes, JJ's story is the first book, and yes, we are only at chapter 14, and we're not even close to being done with it, but it just feels so right to be writing the story. And like, we were beginning to think like, oh, maybe this is the last book in the series, but I'm like, no, it's not. Well, that was everyone else in the system, and I'm like, no, this is where the story starts. This is where the impact that we as Grace Kitz start the story off. We start off with dark thoughts. Well, not dark thoughts, but like, we start off by taking what you know and twisting it on its head. And I just love it. And honestly, that's how all of us in the system are. Like, we take like a traditional world and then twist it. And I just love it. I love it. I super can't wait for this to come out. And I honestly, as I'm talking, I really want to actually get started working on my own social medias. Just because I am trying to make this a traditional publishing route and stuff. And I feel like it would only be right to have a social media before I get a publishing house deal. I'm just not sure what I would post on it. Maybe like my picture books, or like an idea for each picture book kind of thing. I don't really know. Yeah, I've got so many ideas, and I want to share them all with you. Um, that obviously on this channel we have to share it with everyone else. That's why I wanted to start my own channel. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to say. I feel Michelle coming on, so I hope you guys all have a lovely day. And if you want to see more videos from me, I would say check do the weekly vlogs, because I'm doing a lot of writing. But that's probably going to change once we get more time management done. But maybe if you guys want to see more of me, I can come on to other different days and like have a Grace Day. I don't know. But if I do a Grace Day, we would probably start a Grace Kitz channel. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say. I hope you guys all have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye!